Welcome to Straight Out of the Herf Zone, formerly known as Herf Zone Live. I'm your host, Shirtless Mike. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I just wanted to take the time real quick to thank you guys for the support while I've been on this hiatus. My personal life, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, just busyness and changes at my job and, just keeping things rolling. So I needed that hiatus time, but now I'm back in full force. I have a lot of stuff coming up. I'm still working on the kinks and everything, but we definitely got a lot of stuff in store. I'm going to have a new intro soon, new background, new everything. I'm going to introduce you to some people that nobody else is talking about, and just keep everything interesting. Make sure you follow my other podcast called Gangsters and Cigars. Just search on YouTube for Gangsters and Cigars podcast. That is not on a hiatus, so I'm officially back. So I want to thank you all for constantly supporting and all that. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. So yeah. So today's show, I'm sitting here at Smoke Ring 72, my place of employment. So sorry, I'm not shirtless. I'm not in the Herf Zone. I had some stuff going on today, so I had to film remotely. So without further ado, though, I have a couple of friends of mine, brand new Dominican cigar brand, Madre Tierra Cigars. We just had a big cut light with them at Smoke Ring 72 this past Thursday. Brand new company. I'm introducing them to the world, introducing them to my network. So I have them backstage, and I'm going to bring them on the screen right now. So, yeah, welcome to Straight Out of the Herf Zone, Jake and John from Madre Tierra Cigars.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
No problem, man. It feels good to be off the hiatus and introduce somebody new to the world and all that good stuff. So I'm smoking the Madre Tierra Habano blend right here. So we carry four of the blends here at Smoke Ring 72, the San Andreas, Corojo, Rosado, and Habano. And let me tell you, I'm not a big Dominican cigar guy, but I know you are, Jake, so that's why you got involved. Um, for a Dominican cigar, these cigars are very tasty and all that. You guys are a veteran-owned company, so I'm gonna start with John real quick. Give us a little backstory to you, prior to entering the cigar business, if you would. Just it's a veteran-owned company. Tell us what about your military service and your background. Just a little
Okay.
bit about yourself to get people acquainted with who you are.
Okay. I went to junior high and high school in Orlando. I went in the military 3 weeks after I graduated high school. I went in as a mechanic, and I wanted to see the world. And my first duty station was Patrick Air Force Base, Cocoa Beach, so about 45 minutes from my house. So that was kind of interesting. I wanted to get away, and I was right back at home. Did the mechanic at Transit Alert in Cocoa Beach at Patrick Air Force Base. We did a lot of shuttle support. The shuttle was just up and coming, and we were very busy with the transit aircraft from all 5 branches of the service. After about a year and a half, 2 years, I wanted to go. I put in for my orders, extended long worldwide, and I got Clark Air Base in the Philippines. I went over there and worked AR shop, rigged flight controls and landing gears on DC-9s and C-130s. And after a little while, a friend of mine talked me into maintenance control. I did maintenance control for about a year. And one day, one of my buddies come in, he used to be a mechanic with me, and he was flying C-141s. We went out and had a couple beers. And next thing I know, I got orders to McGuire Air Force Base, and I'm at flight engineer school, and ended up flying C-141s out of McGuire. And that was awesome. Best job in the world for me. Went all over the world, got about 5,500 hours flying time. Got to do some interesting things, Gulf War. I was whenever there was a conflict, it seemed like I got picked and went to the conflict. I did the airdrop into Panama when we went down and got General Noriega. And when they did the invasion down there, I did that. I ended up with 15 combat missions. I saw the writing on the wall. All my buddies were getting out of the military and going to the airlines. And so I put in for my orders to get out. 30 days later, I was gone. I was digging ditches for a cable company down in Orlando, making $5 an hour. Had all my applications in, and US Air Airlines called me. Flew up to New Jersey. They hired me on the spot. Worked for them. Got put back on active duty, and for the Gulf War. And I was flying out a reserve unit out of McGuire. And after my active duty, went back to US Air. Delta Airlines hired me. Went down to Atlanta. Loved Atlanta. What a great town. Very big, but your change of climates, little snow, little cold, lots of hot in the summer, lots of sports, lots of hunting, fishing. It's ideal place for living. I think. Worked there for a long time. Ended up retiring as a mechanic. Ended up down in Orlando again. Married a girl from Dominican Republic, and that's how all the cigar stuff started. It wasn't at the beginning. We didn't even her brother has all the plantations and the cigars. He'd give me hundreds of cigars. I bring them home. I never smoked one. I didn't even know how to keep them. I had them sitting in my bedroom in a box. I didn't know what a humidor was. I had no clue that they go bad, dry out, this or that. I just gave them away to friends at Christmas. They loved me. I gave away cigars.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get into smoking from, as a consumer side of things, just from that, or was it just like, I might as well just try?
Well, her brother has been doing tobacco for over 40 years and, tweaking it down, getting the best blend that he can. He's a very, very picky, very precise gentleman. He don't like no shortcuts. He likes exclusive stuff. He's very proud of his tobacco. He sold to all the major companies, Arturo Fuente, many, many big companies all over the world come and buy his tobacco. So probably about a year and a half ago, actually about 5 years ago, he said, you know what, I'm going to get somebody to roll me some cigars, and I'm going to start having some cigars to pass out to friends and family and just have, recreational tobacco. So at the end, or probably around Thanksgiving of last year, her brother said, hey, these things are going so good, so popular down here. Why don't you and Juana, that's my wife, Juana, hardest working woman I ever met. That girl just does not stop. But she talked to us about selling cigars in the United States. So we looked into it. What a process. Getting the permits, getting the licenses, it's crazy. It takes a long time. And
That's a red tape.
Yes. So we got our import license. It took us about 6 months to get everything. Then you think, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm going to go sell cigars and stuff and everything. Oh, I was ate up. The first event we did was right after Thanksgiving. We did it for a cruise ship that was doing a benefit for charity for dialysis for kids. And I spent probably a couple $100 calling Dominican Republic that day, talking to her brother to answer all the questions. I had no clue. I didn't know what a binder was or a wrapper, or I had no idea. And they ate me up, but we did good. And I started getting into it more. And me and the wife never smoked in our life. So somewhere around Thanksgiving and Christmas, we started smoking cigars. So we're like, we don't learn how to smoke cigars, learn the lingo and stuff like that. How can you sell? So we started smoking cigars. We don't smoke like some of these big time guys,
Like me, I smoke all day, every day.
Yeah, we do a couple, 2 or 3 times a week. When I do events, I get a little carried away. I might smoke 5 or 6 or 7, but during the week, just a couple here and there. Um, we sent a whole bunch of cigars up here. My wife let me build a humidor in the house.
Uh-oh.
So I spent about $8,000. I got a 12. We got a 4-bedroom house, and it's just me and her. So I took a 12-foot by 12-foot bedroom, bought Spanish cedar. I vapor buried it. All the Spanish cedar on the ceiling, on the doors, in the closet, the whole thing, tile floor, and independent. We blocked off the air conditioning system from the house, put an independent air conditioning system in, a humidor, and it just started going little bit by little bit. Right now, I have approximately 5,000 cigars sitting in there. And next week, I have 10,000 more cigars going to be delivered to the house. So I'll have 15,000 cigars in the house.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
we lost Jake, but he'll be coming back in. So
Okay.
I'll just have you keep talking a little bit, and then
Okay.
I'll get Jake's side of the story on things. So
Okay.
how did you and Jake connect? You know, you told us about how you got to cigars in the business, but how did you and Jake connect?
Well, we've been offered many times over the last 7 months, people wanting to get involved with us. And me and the wife were like, nah, we don't want to. We want to do this on our own. Well, it's slow, it's hard, and the market we're in is basically here in Orlando area. Friends and stuff buy from us. A couple little smoke shops buy from us, or cigar shops. A couple smoke shops too, and a friend of mine in Indianapolis, Bob Paulson. He's got us in a couple places up there. Some really nice places in Indy. They carry the cigar, and I started doing events with a group called CVA, Concerned Veterans of America. Oh, there he is.
He's
Concerned
texting me. Yeah,
Oh,
he's trying to get back on. So continue.
all right. So we got involved with Concerned Veterans of America through the VFW, and we did a couple smoke events with them. That turned out really nice, very well. They help promote helping veterans out with their benefits after they've gotten their VA and stuff and everything, and they're a real good source for the veterans. So if you guys ever need anything, contact CVA. The local reps here, or if you get on the web page, Brian and Jimmy, they're awesome. They'll come out and do events for you, and talk to the veterans. Just give them a call. They're on the web page. You can find them out. But so one of the events that we did was at the VFW there in Merritt Island, and Jake was there, and we really kind of clicked. Like, we knew each other for a million years, and had a lot of things in common. Our military experience, all that stuff. We started smoking, and he seemed like he was really interested. So he was asking us if we were looking for a partner. So me and the wife went home and talked about it, and I said, we're going to be small. We're going to be here in little mom and pop stores, little here, little there. We're never going to get big. We need to expand. Jake has a tremendous background, knows a lot of people, retired military, working for a government agency. I won't mention it because I don't know if we can or not, but he works for a place. He does a lot of flying now, a lot of corporate flying,
Yep.
and knows a lot of people. And so we approached him and said, "Hey, let's do it." So that's how we hooked up. We hooked up with him, and he's already got us going 10 times more than we would have ever done. His
He's full
ideas
speed
are,
ahead. He's full
Yeah,
steam
man.
ahead.
Energizer Bunny. Energizer Bunny.
yeah, he's got a lot of people and a lot of contacts and a lot of ways that we can go and
Yeah.
expand. And we just been messing around with it for the last couple of weeks, and we're already going crazy.
Yep. I mean,
Solid.
he got connected with me. I got him into Smoke Ring 72. Like it's
And
just
you've been
going wild.
and you've been a blessing because that hookup that is talking to you and getting in there was tremendous. I mean, we put 4 boxes in there, and I
And it's
wasn't
selling.
even gone 45 minutes after we left, and Jake called me and said, "Hey, we already sold 8." And I'm like, "Wow, that's great! 8 cigars in 45 minutes," and we just put them on the shelf.
Heck yeah. Now I'm gonna before we lose Jake's connection again, I'm gonna let Jake tell his background, then we'll get into rapper binder fill and everything. But tell us a little bit about yourself. I already know a lot about you, Jake, but for the people out there that don't know you yet, just just like John was doing, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into cigars and everything.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks, Mike. Pretty close to John's story, actually. About around 1992, we were down in Homestead, and of course, we know Hurricane Andrew happened down there, so rode that one out when my dad was deployed. He was an air traffic controller. He was in Spain at the time, so we got a humanitarian reassignment up here to Patrick Air Force Base, where he finished out his Air Force career. So finished up high school here. That was my freshman year in high school. Graduated a little early, so didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up, and parents didn't have a whole lot of money for college, and I don't think I was disciplined enough for it yet. So military seemed like the best choice for me. So about 17 years old, I went down and had my dad go down with me because I wasn't even old enough to sign the papers on my own, and we talked about it for a while and signed it with a recruiter, and off I went. So went down to MEPS in Miami, and then I was on my way to San Antonio there for the Air Force at basic training. I actually started off as a age mechanic, an aerospace ground equipment mechanic. So again, similar to kind of John, I didn't know anything about maintenance or electricity or anything like that. It was a long test school, but the Air Force thought in their due diligence that I was a mechanic material. So off I went, learned how to do that, and was stationed at Tinker Air Force Base, not too far away from when I went to tech school there at Shepherd Air Force Base in Texas. So went into AWACS. I was in the 964th there, a combat age team. Deployed an awful lot, did that for about 4 years, extended another 5 years to so on. And I was actually on a deployment in Saudi Arabia. So I spent a lot of time in Turkey and Saudi and Kuwait and the desert, doing Operation Northern Watch and Southern Watch. And I was just finishing up my bachelor's degree from Embry-Riddle. And I was like, you know what, maybe I need to move on from this, maybe there's something some more challenging out there. And so I started looking for jobs in the United States of America, USA, while I was deployed, and United Space Alliance came up after I Googled it, right? USA, and USA popped up. Anyways, they were the prime contractors for the space shuttle program here back at Kennedy. And
yeah, my dad used to work for them.
Yeah, it sounded pretty cool. I was like, man, that sounds like a cool gig, right? So had a resume already going on the computer in the morale tent there. So I fired one off and didn't think I'd hear anything back. I was still going through one of my deployments out there, and lo and behold, I got a DSN call, that was routed through the base over to me. So I picked it up in the office. It was way out. It was way early in the morning by that time, my time in Saudi. And sure enough, it was a fellow by the name of Terry Berman, and he gave me an over-the-phone interview for a flight crew systems engineer working with the shuttle program. And like I said, I was just graduated college, didn't know much. I mean, had an engineering degree, but that was about it. No experience other than the military. And he gave me a shot. He said, "Hey, why don't you come work for us down here in Florida?" And I said, "That sounds like a pretty sweet deal." I said, "But I'm kind of overseas right now, and I can't exactly tell you where." And then so we laughed about it, joked about it for a minute. I said, "Man," and I just sewed on staff sergeant, and I said, I just signed an extension for another year, so I wasn't quite sure how that was going to work. But I was so excited. I called home right away, talked to my commander, and he was just a cool cat, and he said, "Hey, that's a pretty good gig. It's not every day one of my airmen goes and works in the National Space Program with the crew there." So they decided to let me go a little early. Got out of my fifth year contract there, out processed back at Tinker on a Friday, and started out here on a Monday. So that was in 2000. I did that for for a good bit. In fact, I was getting really comfortable, bought a house, starting to settle down here in Melbourne, Florida. Really enjoying working first and second shift. And it's not every day you can climb inside a space shuttle, inside the flight deck and mid deck of the orbiter that's been into space multiple times, and then drive home in your F-150 every night, right? And so that was pretty cool. And as a young man, everybody called me the kid. I was probably one of the youngest guys they ever hired out there. Even all the crew members were like, "Hey, is your dad around?" And they would come into my office.
Hey, let me ask you this, because my dad, I don't know if it was before my dad. I forgot what year my dad was working for USA, United States, but he was a tile tech. His name was Jeff Holmes. Did you know my dad?
Yeah, I'm sure I ran into him. I knew a lot of those
he's a redhead,
he
looks a little different than me, but maybe I can't remember if I ever asked you that, but he was a tile tech, so he put the tiles on the shuttle and everything. And
they did all the bonding. That was pretty cool to watch him do that. It was a long process, man. But it was a great time. That was probably one of the highlights of my career, was working the shuttle program. But then we all know what happened a couple of years later. I was sitting there watching TV, and then I saw those planes run into the World Trade Center, right? And I knew right away, when I couldn't hear any airplanes flying over my house when I was living close to Melbourne Airport, that something was up, right? So I was sitting there enjoying a cup of coffee, getting ready to go work. We had a bird on the pad, and I remember a second shift. And after I saw the second plane hit the tower, I knew it was serious. And then the phone rang, and I knew what that phone call was, because I was fresh out. I was still on inactive reserves, and I knew it was going to be something that we were going to be called up to do. So sure enough, got the call. Immediately was told to report to the nearest base. I said, Patrick. They said, no, you need to go to active duty base. You're going to MacDill. So I said, all right. He goes, do you have everything you need? And I said, well, I got a couple uniforms and stuff. He goes, don't worry about it. Pack your mobility bag, whatever you can, and we'll give you more information when we get to MacDill. So we all mustered at MacDill. At least the folks from this area. We went over to MacDill Air Force Base, and immediately was told there at the guard, handed him my reserve ID card, and they kind of confiscated it right there and said, don't worry, they're going to issue a new one. Here, you go to the hangar and give us directions. So we all go down there, and sure enough, big old mobility line, a bunch of young kids, and older folks, that had been serving for a while, that got stop lost and called back in. We were all standing in the line, literally by last name. And they just kind of in process there. We got in the hangar and told us the news, and basically just started typing up orders if we were going to go back to our last duty assignment. And I was getting ready to head back to Tinker, and but I just had my wife at the time was pregnant with our daughter Chloe, and so I kind of wanted to stay close to home. So they actually gave us the option to cross train. So I did. I went into an airborne mission specialist. I became an airborne mission specialist, which back then it was called Airborne Combat Comm. So I sat behind the pilot and navigator on HC-130s. I joined up with the 920th Rescue Squadron. It was a rescue squadron at the time. We were still a tenant over here at Patrick Air Force Base, originally stationed out of Moody in Georgia. But so I went to tech school at Keesler. Learned H-60s and HC-130s with the pararescue unit there. Trained with them and became their airborne comm guy. So traveled and deployed with them to Iraq and Afghanistan a couple times, all the way for another 6 years, all the way till about 2008. So right in the heat of the battle there. And of course, United Space Alliance, they were great. They kept me on board. I guess they had to do that, in case of war, but they kept my position open. And when I wasn't deployed, I went back to work and kind of did that off and on for the next 6 years. So 12 years total. And then got hurt actually over there, which gave me some disability benefits, but it kind of knocked me out of the career field too. It's pretty hard on the body, pretty demanding in the pararescue unit there. So they gave me an option, to either stay in and fly a desk or get out. And I was Colonel Al Daniels. I'll never forget it. And he kind of talked some sense to me, said, hey, you're a young man, you got a beautiful young daughter, and we're losing a lot of good guys. And I think you need to make a tough decision. Are you going to stay with the military for the rest of your career? Or are you going to choose a civilian career? And at that time I was getting close to finish my master's degree. So, it made sense, and I could still continue on the reserve. So I did so there at Patrick and finished out my career with the shuttle program after we retired that. And then from then on out, worked Northrop Grumman classified programs because all my clearances still carried over. And then now working for Blue Origin out here. So total out there at the Cape. I think I have a little over 20 years. So pretty good gig. Got to see some really cool stuff, including deploying with the 920th during the time of the war on terrorism. And that's, joined the VFW shortly thereafter. And that's when I met John. So I was already smoking cigars. I've been doing it for a while, especially with all my neighbors. We enjoy hunting and fishing and playing golf. And so cigars kind of go along with all those lines. And like I said, I told you before, Shirtless Mike, you don't smoke a cigar, you enjoy a cigar, right?
You enjoy a cigar, sir.
Exactly. So it's really about enjoying the cigar with friends and loved ones, and just kind of taking time for yourself and talking and reminiscing, and laughing and having a good time, and sharing a good drink. So so I got into that, and then we were actually having, I feel bad because I don't think anybody smoked cigars when I got to the VFW, and now everybody in the back rooms traveling around with their little mobile Herfs and humidors, and
yes,
they're all
and
into
my grandma
it
was the first one to get me connected. She was like, all these guys smoking cigars, and then like she sends people to me over here. That's how I met Jake, for those watching. And good people are good people. I didn't serve, but I'm a huge supporter of the military, and I came very close, so I would fit in just fine because I have my sense of humor is fucked up. So it's just like
yeah, people don't understand. Our civilians don't understand that. We do have a different sense of humor for sure.
I have to joke. I have to remember my audience, because I'll say some stuff and I'll be like, "Oh, I should have said that."
Yep. But yeah, so we were actually having kind of something similar to your cut and light event there at the VFW. That was actually the first one we had at our post 8191 here in Melbourne, which I'm the senior vice commander there, and started the riders group with the motorcycles here in Brevard County. So we were there, and we all enjoy smoking cigars in the back lounge there, in the back of the post, because we're non-smoking post in the front, but in the back we can kind of do whatever we want. So we were back there enjoying it, listening to music, and we thought it'd be a good idea to have a cigar and bourbon kind of pairing night, at the post. Be something different. We were all into it, so kicked the can around for a little bit, and sure enough, so we made some contacts, heard about John. That's how John got over there, and I'm telling you, that night we just, like you said, man, we just hit it off. This is something that I've been wanting to get into for a long time. I own several companies. I'm also a commercial pilot on the side. So, and I learned how to fly helicopters, working in NASA flight operations, flying the Hueys out there before we retired the Huey program. So it was just one of those things. We hit it off. He worked for Delta. We started talking airplanes, started talking cigars. And then he's like, "Hey, I'm brand new to the business. Been in it for about 6 months. It's been a long road, and I thought I could help out." So, and like I said, it's something that I've always wanted to get into. I just never had that kind of help like John to kind of nudge me, and say, "Yeah, let's do it." So, so it's been exciting. It's been a hell of a ride so far, right, John? I mean, we've been going.
It's only been a couple weeks, and we've got some tremendous things to talk about. If anybody wants to get in this business, it's tough. Just like getting boxes made, and getting the cigar rings made, and buying the cellophane, and getting the shipping and stuff like that, and going through customs, and they hold up your order like I just went through. Yeah. And it's one ordeal after another, and we're not these big companies that got millions and millions of dollars, and these guys don't care. They smoke the cigar at the football game in their jet and stuff. We're actually on the ground. I sat here all last week for the event we did for you out there at Smoke Rings. Yeah. I sat here for 3 days until 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, putting rings on the cigars, putting them in the cellophane, getting everything in order for this event. We do it. Yeah. We don't have the money right now to hire people to work for us, because we're trying to get off the ground. But the thing is, we've got some really good things going on that me and Jake are going to talk about here that is going to put us on the map, and not down the road. In the next few weeks, it's going to put us on the map.
Absolutely. Now, I did have one question, because a customer of mine, on the bands, it says, the Madre Tierra, and it says by Equidom. Is that the name of the factory?
Equidom is my brother-in-law. His name is let me give you a little background on him real quick, if I can. His name is Lisandro. We actually call him Lizzo. He's very good in the community down there. He lives in a town called Tamboril. Tamboril is the capital of cigars in Dominican Republic. It's about 103,000 people. 55% of all the premium cigars in the world are now made in Dominican Republic. 90% of those cigars are made in this one little town. Well, he is the mayor of this town. And he actually takes his salary and he pays for 6 nurses at the hospital. And the vice mayor is also in the cigar business. And his salary, he pays for 10 daycare workers. And they watch the kids for these young wives and everything, so these wives can go back to work. So they're very good in the community. They're always giving. Even like the cell tower in Tamboril was terrible. The Wi-Fi is just absolutely it's nothing. It's on for 5 minutes, off for 20, on for 5, off for 20.
Yeah.
So he went out and built had a cell tower built, paid for it out of his own pocket for the whole community. And he this is just the type of guy he is. And really, really good, down to earth guy, really is. And
nice.
So he, the Equidome comes from he had his own business name, which I don't know what it was before, but he paired up with a guy, kind of like me and Jake did. He paired up with a guy that's down in Ecuador, and the growing season in Dominican, they can only grow tobacco for 6 months for soil conservation, and 6 months on, 6 months off. Well, Ecuador does the same thing, but their growing cycle is 6 months in the opposite way. So now we have tobacco year round. So they've got probably Lizzo's got 300 to 500 acres down there, and his partner's got thousands. So we got thousands there, plus we got all the stuff in Dominican. So what they did is they paired the names together, Ecuador and Dominican, Equidome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna share that with my customer Andre. He was asking me last night, and I was like, that's one of the questions I'm gonna ask because it's right on the band. So
yeah. So but we went and we've got the Madre Tierra. We got the patent for the logo. We got it all that stuff done. So everything's in our name. Basically, the company, the tobacco is owned by my wife's brother. He does all the tobacco, and me and my wife do the sales. And we just added Jake, so it's going to be me, my wife, and Jake are going to be the sales and distribution for the whole United States.
Yeah, so you guys are pretty much vertically integrated. What do you guys buy your box? You guys buy your boxes from somebody else, right?
We buy our boxes down there from another company.
Okay.
We've tested the waters with a few. We just found a guy that is actually a family friend, and he's doing really good work. I'll have him here next week. Me and the wife just ordered. I got about 550 boxes coming next week, and they're all going to be full of cigars. We haven't made a decision how we're going to sell them yet. So what we did is we got boxes with 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25, and we're just going to test the water. We're going to test the waters and see where we go.
I mean, it's good to have options because, shelf space is the issue for retailers. The 10-count boxes have been good for us. We can put it on top of the shelf. We have to refill them more often, but at least we know that, it's not as much to sell through. And, it just keeps cycling through. So
and that's another thing, too. I have some shelf space at I do cigars down in the cigar quarters in Haines City. Anthony down there, nicest guy in the world, his wife, they took us in, they put our cigars up there, and what we did is we put 2 boxes in there. So what we did is we did 4 because we got 5 lines. We also got a broadleaf, but I'm out, but the premium broadleafs will be here next week, so I'll be back to 5 lines. And so we put 4 in each box, and it works out good too. He doesn't have to take up 5 box spaces. He only has to take up 2 box spaces. So if anybody's interested, and during this broadcast, if anybody interested in how to get a hold of us or be a Jake, they can always contact you through your website here or your show, and you'll
Yeah.
get us in touch with them and everything. And any events that you guys want to do outside of, smoke rings, if you got any kind of events you want to promote, you want a cigar to be there and everything, contact me and Jake, and we'll be more than
Or
glad
hit
to
me up
come
because
out.
I'm the connector of people. I make
Yeah,
sure I connect everybody.
yeah.
So
There you go.
You go through you. You'll get us into the right channels and everything, and we'll come out. We've already got several events in the running right now. Um, our
We
our
got the one
calendar
in the one
our
in Haines
calendar is
City,
getting
I
full.
think, right? Yeah. Yeah, we got one. Was it the 14th? I think at the Monte Cristo over there in Cocoa at the
Monte
what's the
Cristo
name?
Cigar Club.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Monte Cristo Cigar Club. So we just got invited to that after we did our cut and light there with you. And big shout out to Lou, man, for getting us going.
Oh.
That was our first event, and I heard
Man, that
good
was a
things
good
that we
event.
knocked it. Yeah, I heard we knocked it out of the water. So that was that's
Lou's
awesome,
tremendous guy.
Yeah.
When I first went in there, I was kind of, I don't know what's going on, but Lou is tremendous. He seemed like he was excited when we first started off. We were sitting there, and he goes, I'll order pizzas, and my wife looked at him and said, "We got Latinos coming here. We can't have pizzas."
Yeah.
there.
My
Yeah,
grandma,
my wife
she doesn't know
ordered-
anything about Latino food, but I had to explain to her what it was, but she loved it.
Yeah,
oh, man, I think we were sold out of food in like 45 minutes.
It lasted 30 minutes. It was gone.
Yeah. It was
That was
gone.
the first time in history for that.
History.
The people were coming back. My wife's like, you know what? They're coming back. They're second and third plate. And
Yeah, you would think
it
they
was
haven't
gone.
eaten in months.
I know.
I waited because I was off, but I worked there, so
Yeah.
I waited because I wanted everybody else to get some. But I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck this! I'm gonna get some food, man. I'm hungry."
I think I
Yeah.
got a crumb out of one of those empanadas. That was about
I
it.
didn't get nothing. I ended up getting a slice of pizza, and there was only 2 slices of pizza left.
Yeah, man, the cupcakes, everything. It was, man, that was the bomb right
It
there.
was an event to remember. And then Friday, we're gonna talk about this because we're vibing here. So, hey, you guys just got on Cigar Hacks, and
Yeah.
they were
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about your cigar. Tell us
Heck yeah.
about that because I got the phone call and you were excited, John, and I was happy for you, and you thanked me for, just helping
I
you.
don't
get out
think we've
there.
slept. I don't think we've slept since the
Yeah,
phone
well,
call, John.
So I got a friend of mine, Fabian, that got me into cigar quarters down in Haines City, and I met him at Corona's out on Dr. Phillips, and he said, "Oh, I got a friend of mine coming in from Cigar Hacks. When he comes in town, we'll meet." So he called me a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going down there with Nurse Rick, and why don't you meet us?" So we go in there, and Rick's smoking my San Andreas, and he's like, "Yeah, this is pretty good." Da 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 da. He finishes it, and he comes straight out and said, "I'll badmouth your cigar. I'll tell you it's a 1. I'll throw it in the toilet. I don't care." He's like, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to teach you a lesson." So
Yep.
he smoked it. He's like, "God dang, this thing's good." So he lit up a Habano, which is our newest line, which real quick was an accident. The Habano, my wife went down a couple of months ago, and our roller, which is from a prominent company, and he came over to work for us, our master roller. He has 45 years experience. He pulled a couple blends together, and he made 4 cigars. And he said, "Take these to John. These are special for him." So I would sit outside with my buddy next door, and Ivan, and we're sitting there smoking it. And we look at each other, and we're like, "Holy crap, this thing is good as hell." So Juana and my other friend, Bob Paulson up in Indiana, they smoked it, and they went crazy. So we got on the phone, and we're like, "Lizzo, we got to produce this." And he goes, "Okay, I got 5,000 starting tomorrow." So he made us another 5,000 cigars to test the waters. They send them up here. I can't keep them. The people are buying. I got people calling me saying, "Oh my God, I gotta have this. I gotta have this." So
That's what I'm smoking right now.
Yeah, and so Nurse Rick's smoking it, and he's like, "Oh my God, this thing is on fire. This thing is great." And he's like, "I would like to purchase about 10 of these, take them home. I got a big broker up there. If he carries you, you've made it." I'm not going to mention his name, but he's a big broker in the Northeast, and he said, if this guy likes your cigar, you're going to go far. Everybody that's somebody goes through him. So I was like, okay, cool. Didn't hear nothing from them, and I don't want to push it. So I had an event down. We do an event down in Miami every first Friday of the month, and it's with the Concerned Veterans of America (CVA). They teamed up with PBR Cowboy Bar, and there's 14 of them across the whole United States. So the one in Miami just opened about 2 months ago, and they give cigars away. We come down there and we give cigars away to veterans every first Friday of the month. So PBR was in the process of finding a cigar company, and they want to start selling the cigars in the bar and put a humidor in it. And then after the CVA event, stay over and sell until 1 or 2 in the morning. So the manager and I've talked all their GMs. They were all down there. I did my demonstration. I gave them some cigars to smoke. It came down to about 10 companies. They got down to 2. I won't mention who we beat out again because I think that's respect for for the companies and everything. But it's a major, major company. We looked it up. They've been in business like since 1856.
Yeah, they've been
in business for a long time, and it came down to them and us. We've been in business 7 months, 40 years of tobacco experience, but 7 months of cigar, and we won. And so we ordered an electric humidor. It's going to be here this week. I'm taking it down there. We're going to put them in. They're going to sell them, and if it all goes well, they want to carry them all 13 other PBRs. They're in St. Louis, Dallas, Philly, at the Brave Stadium in Atlanta. They want to carry our brand. So I was all excited. I called Jake, telling him all this stuff and everything. They actually got a Marine Ball next month in November, or actually 1st of November.
1st of November,
and it's like November 4th. They invited us to come. They are going to pre-buy the cigars, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the Marine Corps logo on the cigars for the guys at the Marine Corps Ball. So they're all excited about that. You know how Marines are. And,
2 Air Force guys at a Marine Ball. That ought to be interesting, right? like mixing hypergalls down there.
so what you're saying is you're gonna put the Crayola, different colored Crayolas.
We'll make sure that we have great flavored cigars and whatnot
on a torpedo cigar.
So this is like 30 minutes later. I called Jake again, and I'm like, "Hey, we got the Marine Corps Ball," and he's like, "All excited," and I'm excited. So we get done with the event. It's like we're done by 9 o'clock. We got to drive back to Kissimmee because my wife's got to work in the morning.
Yep.
So I get in the car. My phone rings. It's Nurse Rick. He goes, "Hey, I'm going to call you in a couple minutes. We're doing your show on your cigar. We did a whole hour show, which is actually going to air on Cigar Hacks on Monday. It's episode 303, I believe. It'll be the newest one." He goes, "We're going to have your show on." He goes, "We like to put you on the air because we want to tell you what your rating was." And I'm like, "Okay." So I wait. And he said 5 minutes, but it was like 15. I'm getting nervous. We're all sitting in the car. So he calls me. He gets on there. He introduces me to the whole staff. Very nice guys. They're out on their boat. They're out in the water for Labor Day weekend. They're all smoking the cigar. And he goes, "Okay, remember, you've only been in business 7 months. You've only been getting your cigars out the last couple months. You're brand new. You're still, in my diapers." He goes, "But we did a rating, all the guys, and we paired it up and divided it up, and you got an 8.7.
Nice.
I'm like, "Holy Christ, that 8.7 for our first freaking cigar?"
Yeah, 8.7 out of 10.
Yeah, 8.7 out of 10.
That's
and
awesome.
They've been on the air for over 10 years. They're the #2 show on iHeartRadio. They only have 10 cigars that are rated 9.0 or above. And we made an 8.7.
Not a bad start.
So then he told me the broker up there in New England wants to talk to us on Tuesday because he wants to carry our cigar nationwide. And I'm like, I'm still smiling because I was excited when I'm in Kissimmee and I got in Haines City, and then I got in the cigar rings in Merritt Island. And I'm like, woohoo!
Smoke rings.
Or smoke rings. I mean, but I'm so excited that I got that far, and then all of a sudden, boom, here we go. That we might be all the way to California and Seattle and everywhere else in the next month or so.
Yeah, because I think at first, we were just, I mean, we're big into veteran organizations, so it just started off kind of there, and then getting into the local community. John, has Haines City and Kissimmee down packed pretty well, and of course, I'm introducing it here to the Broward County area, so all the different lounges and bars and folks that'll take us in here, and I think, and to sum up, when we're just extremely humbled, right? I mean, the cigar community, as you well know, is very close knit. It's like a flying community or boating community. It's kind of
everyone knows
who
each other.
Exactly. So if sometimes you only get one shot at it, and if you have a bad rap, you may not ever recover from that. So just really humbled that everybody's just kind of taking us in and more or less showing us the ropes, that we don't make a lot of those mistakes up front, and just has been really allowing us to be successful. And it, like John said, it's taken off. I mean, it's grown exponentially, almost faster, than we can keep up.
Yeah.
But it's just exciting times. I mean, I think you can hear it in John's voice and in my voice. And again, big shout out and thanks to everybody, Lou there, and you, Shirtless Mike, and Cigar Hacks that just kind of been pushing us.
And it is a good product. I mean, everybody says their cigar's good, from Nicaragua, the Mexican, the Guatemala, the Dominican. Everybody loves their cigar, and of course they're all going to brag about it, but we actually got people changing from their cigars that they usually smoke. I met a guy online that he rates cigars in Oklahoma, and he's a preacher and he smokes cigars. So I sent him cigars out there, and this guy smokes about a pack of 25. Like he smokes about 40, 50 cigars a month. Mm-hmm. And so I sent him the 4 blends. He sent the rating back. It was very generous. I won't go over that too. We're going to get ready to post that online because it's actually pretty good. And he was independent and everything. And now, this has been 4 months ago when I got the rating, he buys almost 2 packs of 25 from me a month, and he changed from the cigars that he's been smoking for years, and now he's smoking the Madre Tierras. Yep. And I send them to him all the time. So to have the guy that's rating the cigar change his brand to your cigar, I thought that was pretty strong too.
Yeah. See, a lot of consumers are, they like to smoke everything. So, if somebody smokes one type of cigar and you're changing, that's like pretty powerful. I know for me, I smoke some of everything. So I've just added Madre Tierra to my rotation, to my regular rotation.
Yeah. And like you said, we got a Rosado, a San Andreas, a Habano, a Corojo, and a Broadleaf. And when I was talking to Lizzo the other night, he is now in the process of doing the Connecticut. Yep. Now, we only carry a 6x52. We don't want to get too big too quick, but probably around close to Thanksgiving, we're going to do a barber pole for the holidays. And then around January, we're going to go to the 6x60s. And then we'll play it by ear as we go, as we get out there across the United States. If it starts turning off, we'll end up going into the Torpedoes, the Churchills, and stuff like that. But slow. We don't want to scare these.
All I ask is don't do too many sizes, because as a retailer, there's so many options out there. The best selling sizes are the Robustos, Toros, Churchills, Gordos. But too many sizes,
Plus,
certain brands they have 5 sizes and they require you to carry this amount. Yeah. I mean, it'll just be better to stick with the ones that sell. Now every once in a while, I'm a Lancero guy. You can throw a Lancero out there. Unfortunately, they don't sell that well, but if it's really good, it will sell. If you hand sell them.
And this is another thing that we're going to offer too. If there's any companies that want to talk to us about producing cigars for them and their line, me and Jake are open to anything. We're not going to be stingy. I'm going to spread the wealth.
Yep.
We're, like I said, we're not.
Like I said, enjoying it with everybody, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So, getting back.
And if anybody's listening, and let's say they're in Kansas City, or they're out in Oklahoma, or they're out in New York City, and they want to do an event, I'll come. Jake will come too. I'm retired from the airlines. I can get on an airplane and fly up. Jake can fly up, and we can do an event anywhere you guys are at. It's not about, I don't even care if we make any money. I just want to get the product name out there and get some exposure.
No, you have to care if you make some money. You gotta. That's why you gotta get on that hustle.
Yeah, I want a jet with the Madre Tierra logo on the tail, man.
But when you're hustling, you are gonna make money. So
yeah,
I want a 75 or 85 footer with Madre Tierra on the back.
There we go. We're dreaming big. We're dreaming big
because we never had nothing.
Like but like I mean, that's true. I mean, we don't even have. I mean, our website is coming soon. If you Google Madre Tierra, it's in the works right now. I mean, that's how fast the business is growing, right? I mean, you can go ahead and look at Madre Tierra.
Well, this show is gonna show up, because I show up in search engines, so it's this show is gonna come up.
Well, the websites are really tricky because there's like 8 states that charge an excise tax. So when we put it on there, we have to get all these links for all these taxes because if we're going to carry it online. And it's just a lot of work trying to figure everything out because, the government will shut you down in 2 seconds. And I don't want to lose my, import license and all that stuff and everything for technicality. So we're taking our time getting it out there. But if anybody's interested, me or Jake or even you, we can send them information. We can, what we got, what little. But the website should be up and running in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and we'll have everything down.
We ship here to Smoke Ring 72. So you just give me a call, reach out to me. I'll take the order over the phone. We will ship cigars, as a retailer here.
And it's a moderately priced cigar.
Great price point. $10 and some change.
Yeah, and then
for
if
everyday
you order
price
a bundle
cigar.
of 25, Lou also gives you a 20% discount.
Yep.
So that's nice too. So get a bundle of 25. I mean, we're there. We're in the market because you know what?
Yeah.
This thing's on fire. Next year, this might be a $30 cigar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So why go to those big box stores,
right? Current price point, but you'll be able to come up with something.
Right. I was just joking on the 30. I'm really dreaming now, but no, we're out there to get our name out there, and we're on a good roll so far.
Yeah, so we got a couple big events coming up, John. I know we got the 14th, the Monte Cristo Club there in Cocoa that will be at. They were gracious enough to invite us to that, so we're looking forward to that. I'm pretty sure John's going to make it over for that one too. He usually shows up at all of them. So that's one thing about us. We're so excited that we go to all of them.
You got the golf tournament. Plug the golf tournament.
Yeah, that's right. Big shout out to Mel Taylor and WJR, the rock station, if anybody's listening or watching. So yeah, the Clubbing Out Cancer, the Mel's Bad Girl Club over there at Champions Gate. John will be there. We'll have the cigars for sale, and of course, big sponsor will be driving the golf cart around. And of course, I'll be playing in the tournament. Whacking some holes in the dirt there and losing golf balls. But and then Austin Tartar from Max Flight Helicopters. She always brings a helicopter to do the ball drop. So big fundraising event there. And of course, we always like giving back to the community and sharing the love. So we'll be out there for that. Come say hi to us. And then September 23rd, right? We got the one in Haines City. I think that's the first wine and cigar fest.
Yeah, if anybody can make that one, I think it's 11 to 6. It's in downtown Haines City. Very beautiful city. They have it at the pavilion right there by the railroad tracks. They're going to have probably 6 or 7 different cigar companies that are there. They're going to also have some wine companies there. It's a tasting. It's free. Come on down. That's the 23rd of this month. It's a Saturday, and Anthony from Cigar Quarters is actually throwing this event. It's their first annual, so they're already projecting for more to come. But very, very nice lounge. If you're down there, go in there. He's got a nice place. They got beer and wine and music on Fridays and Saturday nights. Really nice place, but come down there on the 23rd.
I know we got a couple big appointments coming up. Like John said, we'll be talking to some distribution folks on Tuesday. Looking forward to that call. And then we've already set up some appointments with some owners of some of the other cigars, Corona Cigars, Executive Cigars out in Sanford, and again on 192. Jimmy Cigars on 192. So we're getting the name out there, we're getting the product out there, and like John said before, and same thing, Shirtless Mike, that you said before, if you have a good product, I mean, it'll sell itself, and really it has. It's a premium Dominican cigar, and there is no shy on that word premium. I mean, we have a good product, a lot of history. Get on the website, check out Equidom. This family's been around a long time, all hand rolled, fine cigars, and just like you said, tremendous product. We're not short on any tobacco. I mean, we got the whole process. So, and they roll the tobacco for us. So,
and there is a shortage of tobacco out there right now. There's
exactly.
China has come in and wiped everybody out. They went to Nicaragua, Honduras, Mexico, Dominican. They have bought up all the tobacco they can, take it back to China. And now they're probably down in South America because they're getting ready to pick their harvest down there. But we guarantee we warehouse the whole warehouse full of tobacco for us. We're not selling it. We're not getting rid of it. It's for our cigars. So we're not going to have a problem with keeping up with inventory. And if anybody's interested in getting this stuff, we're unlimited.
Yep. Yeah, reach out to us. You know, like I said, there's already on the shelf there over at Smoke Ring 72, and pretty soon on a shelf coming near
right
you.
now in Brevard County. So you got to come holler at me.
But soon to be on a shelf near you. We promise. We're getting out there, but we're you know, it's like I said, it's a small family business. It's, you know, just John and I and the family, and so we're doing best we can. So you know, let us know if there's an area you want to see us at. Give us a shout or reach out to Shirtless Mike. He can always get a hold of us, and we'll put you on the calendar, and we'll make sure we get out to you.
And the Latino population, if you guys got events, I know Latinos are big into cigar smoking. My wife, she's Dominican.
She makes the best fucking food ever. How you doing?
Yeah. If she smokes more cigars than me, she will be more than glad to come to any place you guys are at and help you guys out. She is a really good-hearted woman. She's really trying very hard to make this work. And if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be doing this. And her brother Lizzo down in Dominican, we wouldn't be doing this. They're backing me and Jake and Juana. Lizzo's a great guy, and he's going to go far.
And shout out to Latinos, my family background. My dad's Colombian, born and raised there in Barranquilla and Bogota. So, and I just found out we have family in the DR. So next trip we got planned, hopefully next month, we'll have a little reunion down there while we're exploring the tobacco fields and the factory. And I am just excited and elated and just ready to meet the rest of family down there and her brother. And it just seems like it's just, you know, a good connection. So you can't go wrong there, you know, and just like the Italians, you know, we're all family, and it's a tight knit community.
Absolutely.
So, and I love the fact that he gives back just like us, you know, with the veteran organizations. It's a brotherhood, sisterhood, and we always want to give back, you know, because we're fortunate to do so. So anything we can do, and again, the cigar community has been great, and we're going to continue to give back to that community as well because we really enjoy it.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you. We're almost at the hour, so I didn't have any problem filling an hour. I was unsure, but I knew it would be fun. So I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. And, you know, I got a lot more stuff planned.
One more thanks. Thanks to you. You've helped us out tremendously from the little bit of time I've known you, and Jake's known you for a while. You really are helping us get on the map, and, you know, we really do appreciate everything you're doing for us.
Yeah,
definitely. No problem. It's not a problem. But yeah, I got a lot more stuff coming. I'm revamping everything. It's just going to be a slow process because it kind of like coming off the hiatus, it just jumped out at me. So I'm all about just making sure the content's there. So this will be up on Tuesday. So by the time you're seeing this,
you got another, and you guys got another event, I believe. It's this Saturday, right? For Perdomo.
Yeah, no, Friday we got a Perdomo event
on Friday night. Yeah, me and Juana are actually going to be there.
I'll be there for that one too.
I'm going to be there to see how the other companies do it and stuff and thing. But I'm also going to be hoping somebody buys my Madre Tierra. And
well,
I just want to see.
I mean, we sell that all day, but you know, we're pushing Perdomo boxes.
Oh, sure, just like
that night.
Just
so
like that.
I'm trying to catch people before they even go to other brands that night. So so that's just how it is during an event.
But we're going to come out there. We're going to actually support Perdomo that night. We're coming out to see him, and you know,
I think John Converse, the rep, he's a really good guy. He'll be, you know, once things slow down, because he's in sales mode. But like, if you get a chance when things slow down, he's a really good guy to talk to. At least get his number and talk to him on a slow time.
Right.
Because he used to be a retailer, so he'll give you all the
ins and outs.
the points I get. He'll just keep it straight up for you. So
yeah, and I think I met him before at the other Perdomo event, and I actually got to meet Nick Perdomo, you know, and he signed a bunch of boxes for me. I bought a couple boxes from him. Yeah, that was awesome, man. So yeah, that's always a good event, man, to meet meet the other cigar makers out there and hear their stories.
Let me throw a couple more things in here. I know I'm using up a couple more minutes here. We got a WWE wrestler. He was from Cuba. I don't have his info in front of me, but he just signed. I forgot his name already, but he just signed on. We're actually getting a belt, his championship belt. We're making a cigar ring.
Yeah,
his championship belt, and we're actually going to put it on a cigar for him. He's also going to do box signings for us.
Yep.
And we also got a NFL coach. I won't mention his name either.
Yep. I was gonna say.
A big NFL coach from a couple Super Bowls he's won. And he's got our cigars right now. And he's got a big partnership with a country and western singer. And they just came out with a line of tequila.
Yeah. / movie star.
and right now they're in discussion, and we might be on board with them as pairing up with their tequila. And
some baseball players.
And my wife's cousin is married to Ronaldo Blanco. He is a pitcher for the Houston Astros. He's kind of up and down as they need him, but he's been there all season. And when the extended roster comes out, he'll be on the rest of the team. He'll be on there. And Houston's doing really well right now. And he in the offseason, he's going to endorse a box for us too.
Yep.
Nice. Absolutely.
So in a few months, we're getting all these little hits and little things going on that it's going places. The people like our product.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely, man. I'm proud of you guys. I love that, what you guys are doing, and we continue to support. I'm just gonna go ahead and end the show. We can bullshit after, but
I'll be up there in a little bit, man. I gotta go see my daughter.
Oh yeah, I don't know how long I'll be here, but I'll talk to you about why after, because we're still recording. But everybody that's watching, if this is your first time, this is all on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and all that good stuff. Man. And I'll let you know when we're done recording so we can talk that real shit. One